Hey Cubs fan, before we get to today's episode of Rogue Actions, I just have a couple items of appreciation that I want to express because as the title shows in the video, I'm walking away from Rogue Actions and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which we'll discuss that decision here in a little bit. But so many people here have been such a big part of this journey, and my journey here making content and all of that is not over necessarily. But with the game specifically, I just have a few people that mean a lot to me that I really want to call out. Some creators, some devs, and some community members. And there are a lot of people that probably should be called out that aren't going to be called out right now. I can't encapsulate everyone in a short, quick little intro. But there are so many creators when I first started my journey as a YouTuber that were so helpful for me. Arnold is at the top of that list. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of the time you spent chatting with me when I was just a small, young content creator trying to figure out this world of content creation. And the amount of help and advice and laughs that you brought to that process is something I'll never forget. And I regret that we haven't been able to do as much recently, but I just want you to know that I really, really appreciate all of the time that you spent helping me when I started my journey on YouTube. And I am beyond stoked that you are continuing on the raging river that is the Kyber Club. So thank you, Arnold. Mobile Gamer, very similar thoughts and feelings towards you. And several other content creators. Ranger has been an amazing friend and help for me. Obviously, when we first started Rogue Actions, or first started Rogue Actions, I should say, and allowed me to continue with him. And the show continued on, obviously, after with Heinze, who is somebody that means a lot to me as well. All of these content creators, there's so many more I could talk about, but I just wanted to call out some of those guys at the top that just really, really mean a lot to me. From a dev perspective, it may seem weird. I'm leaving the game. Obviously, I have some negative feelings about the way that the game was handled, obviously. But I really appreciate Capital Games for bringing me the game that I spent by far the most time in my life on. Nothing comes close. It's not even close. And there's something good. There's some magic with this game that existed. And while I feel like that magic is gone for me, I really want to express appreciation to the entirety of Capital Games for bringing us Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I will never forget what this game brought me. The friends, the camaraderie, the laughs, the rage even. So many things about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mean so much to me and will always mean so much to me. And so I don't want to go out ripping on you, Capital Games. I'd rather go out giving you a hug and saying thank you for the good times. And then lastly, and most importantly, the community. There are hundreds of names that I should shout out in this video that mean a lot to me. I'm going to elect to not say any community members' names right now, simply because I don't want to leave important people out, because I'd probably be here like the end of a Marvel movie, everyone waiting for the end credit scene, just listing name after name after name after name of people who mean so much to me. Those of you who do mean a lot to me, you know who you are. We're going to stay in touch. Thank you for being with me on this journey. All right. I hope you guys somewhat enjoy this episode of Rogue Actions. And then genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a part of this journey with me through Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I love you, fam. What is going on, Cubs fam? Welcome to another episode of Rogue Actions. Today, I am joined by Heinze. And Heinze, it's Christmas Day for you, isn't it?
It is, man. It is. Yeah, it is. Merry Christmas here. It's stupid o'clock as always. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yep, big fat man is coming down the chimney. And no, I'm not coming down the chimney. Let's be clear about that. We're talking about Santa, all right? But,
I leaned in a little bit. I was like, what are you about to say, Heinze?
No, it's pretty exciting. Caught up with the family, of course, yesterday, Christmas Eve already. Catching up with Mrs. H's side today. Looking forward to seeing those that we haven't seen for, since probably about the last 6-8 months. We'll catch up with a few of them. So it's going to be pretty good fun tomorrow. Looking forward to it. And very, very warm in Australia as well. It's going to be around 95 Christmas Day here in Australia. Yeah.
Of course, Fahrenheit. So, and 95 Celsius would be the freaking surface of the sun.
I would not exist. So yeah, definitely Fahrenheit. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, mate. But anyway,
Heinze and I were talking before we started the video today. I woke up today. I've got a couple things to announce today, and I'm really struggling with this one. Heinze, because
Yeah.
I'm stepping away from two things that I've really loved doing today.
Yeah.
The first one is Rogue Actions, and we'll talk about that. We'll unpack. And I don't know what your plans are, Heinze. We talked about the potential for the show continuing. I'll let you cover that maybe at the end or in your video. The future of the show, but
There is a future. That's all that matters. But we'll
oh,
come back to
okay.
that.
I really
Yeah.
want there to be.
Yeah, there will be. Yeah.
There's reasons for that, but also I think when it comes to me playing Star Wars Galaxy Heroes at all and covering the game, I think, Heinze, I'm going to make an analogy. I feel like, have you ever had a friend who's dating a girl and you
Mhm.
can tell that this relationship is doomed?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's been 6 months and he's still hanging on for dear life. And my man,
Yes.
bless his heart, doesn't want to let go.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
been me with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for at least the last 6 months, maybe longer. Trying so hard to hold on for dear life. And I think a big part of that, Heinze, and something that I really want to stay focused on is this game and this community has been an incredible part of almost a decade of my life. And it
Yep.
is not easy to walk away from that. But today, I need to announce I am going to quit Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah, that's a big call. I know that you've certainly been, tossing that around for a little bit. It doesn't come as a surprise to me, honestly,
I
and
don't
that's a
think anyone's
horrible thing to say.
surprised.
But certainly I think that it's been to the point where you've had your struggles playing it. It's been very, very hard for you to get enthusiastic about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I felt anyway. And you know as well as I do, and this is the thing, as a creator, doing what we do is that if the passion isn't there, it shows. It really, really does. And it amplifies both good and bad in many, many cases.
Yeah.
And the problem is that if the passion's not there, and if you're not willing to really sort of, really, you don't want to have to push it. You want to just have to embrace it. And if you're finding that too hard to do, that's it. There's
Yeah.
no point doing it at all because you're really just not doing the right thing by the viewers as well. Let's be honest.
No,
So
and I felt that way for a long time. It's been difficult to make any videos, and it at first it was just making any videos, right, about the
yeah,
game. But Rogue Actions, I was fine. I was like, all right, I can tap into the current news. I think where I started realizing, okay, I don't know if I can hide from this anymore, is when you would message me about Rogue Actions, and I'd be like, I don't I don't want to talk about this game. Like coming up with two topics to talk about for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and feeling like I was plugged into the community enough to even provide meaningful commentary for it became very difficult. And I thought about you, Heinze. I was like, Heinze deserves a co-host who's plugged into this game. The community deserves it. And then I started thinking, what without Rogue Actions, what can I even honestly do in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? And then I kind of took a month off and just really started reflecting. Now, a lot of you know, professionally, this used to be my full-time job. I've transitioned to a therapy gig. I'm a licensed associate counselor right now, going for an LPC, if anyone knows what those terms mean. That's my focus professionally now. This is more of a passion side project, but still, even then, Heinze, as a passion project, not something that I'm depending on or anything like that. Pulling
mhm.
the plug and saying I'm leaving this game is something that took me a full month to really wrap my mind around. It is so hard to say those words because I've spent 7 years in this game. I spent 7 years farming these characters, 7 years being angry at this game, being
Yeah.
happy at this game, spending so many good memories with the community. I mean, how many of the highlights of the last 7 years of your life have to do with this game?
Yeah, yeah, and
It's
that's the
so
thing. I mean,
sad.
we've been so invested in it for some time, and as you said, that the time, the time investment, the money investment. Let's be honest. I mean, that
I want
there's
that
an
back.
element there. I know, but the videos and the hours, the countless hours of editing videos, putting them all together, getting them up and running, making sure that they're as professional as possible. It does weigh on you over time. It absolutely does. And again, I'm fortunate to be a part of this. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, a while ago, of course, when yourself and Urs were rocking along, and Urs is in the very same position that you are right now. Let's be honest. I mean, I was fortunate enough for you to pick up the phone and call a dumb Australian and say, "Hey, dude, how about we roll with this?" And it's been again one of the most amazing things that I've ever done. It's been absolutely incredible. So you've taught me a heck of a lot, man. We've learned a lot along the way, and I don't know what to say, brother, but I really really appreciate everything that you've done
Oh,
for Rogue Action, for the community, for your own channel, the viewers, the Cubs fam, and certainly for the game, because without any of that, it just wouldn't be the same. So again, I'm trying to stay a little bit kind of trying to keep the dry eyes right now, mate. It's pretty tough. They're a little bit misty here, but I had to say that, mate, because certainly from the bottom of my heart, man, we can't thank you enough for what you've done.
well, feelings mutual to everyone else, and to bringing you onto Rogue Actions. That was, I've told you before, it's one of the best decisions I ever made as a content creator, because the flow that we had was so good. And I really feel like, honestly, in a lot of ways, Rogue Actions itself was a big catalyst that kept me in the game, because it was so easy to talk with you. It was so fun to talk to you about the game, even when I wasn't really that concerned about it. Being able to moan and bitch about things with you sometimes, or just shoot the breeze with you,
Yeah.
Heinzie, made it a lot
Yeah.
easier to continue this game, and the community does the same thing. And so I want to focus on a few memories, Heinzie. Can we do that?
Dude, we can do whatever
I
you
thought
want.
about like
Go for it.
I thought about a couple ways to do this video. Like I'll be honest, there's a part of me that's like, I want to list all the things CG screwed up that made it possible for me to quit this game. But I don't want to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm not a victim here. A lot of people are continuing on with this game, and a lot of people quit the game 3 years ago, right? Like, it's just my response to what CG's doing. Even though I really wish things were different. I wish that the game was exciting. It just isn't for me. Maybe it still is for other people, and that's fantastic. I don't want to treat that as some sort of objective truth. But also, I spent a lot of time. I actually went through, Heinzie, I was scrolling through before this video. I was looking at all of my old videos and getting really sentimental and just feeling kind of bummed and all the feels, right? And I was noticing a lot of my top videos are basically just rage videos. It's like 3 years ago, is Galaxy of Heroes dying? And then 2 years ago, is Galaxy of Heroes dying?
That old chestnut.
And then 3 years ago, also, Mobile Gamer was right. And anyway, that's not all my videos. That's just a few of their splash. But I wanted to talk about a few memories that have just really sat with me with this community. And I want to share, maybe if you've seen Inside Out, there's the core memories, right? One of my Galaxy of Heroes core memories is the first time I was flown out as a content creator to go to an event. Now, it was a small event. Probably should have been a bigger event. I don't really get why it was this way, but it was me and a guy named Nukin. You remember Nukin? And a girl named Crazy Excuses, who is one of my favorite human beings. I haven't talked to her in forever. Crazy, if you ever end up seeing this, I just want you to know I still think so highly of you. Anyway, we all met up at EA headquarters in where is it? San Francisco.
Yeah.
And to that point, I had been playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for like, I don't know, I think 2 or 3 years at that point, before maybe even less than that. But it was already such a huge part of my life, and I was so enthusiastic about the game. I'd spent so much time as a guild leader trying to figure out how to beat the heroic tank raid, and all of this stuff had been going on. And I was picked up at the airport by Nukin and Crazy, and I got in the car with them, and I just had this like massive geek out moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to people in real life about this game. Because it was the first time I'd ever met anybody who also played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It was like the ultimate nerd moment. And I think about that, and it just kind of reminds me of the level of excitement that this game brought me at that point. And that's another reason, by the way, Heinzie, why I don't want to focus on the negative here. Because yes, the tail end of this game, things got bad. We had some negativity splash in there. But overwhelmingly, the majority of this game for me has been nothing but a thrill. Yeah. Nothing but amazing relationships built. So many things. Anyway, so you can share your thoughts on that, but that's just that's really sat with me.
I mean, I've caught up with real life people as well that used to be in my guild. We've caught up, and certainly it's been really really cool. But as a matter of fact, for those that don't already know, it was mentioned a couple of weeks ago. But I'm coming to the US next year for the first time ever at the end of June.
Hey, let's
So
go!
yeah, so
I'll
it's going
still
to be
meet up with
pretty
you.
wild.
I'm gonna come see
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So we're going to Colorado to the Colorado Comic Con, and then we're going to finish up at Vegas on the way out. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So super pumped about that. But
I'm only a
yeah,
few hours from Vegas. I can make it up there. I'm
dude,
gonna come say hi.
it's going to be a few of us. It's going to be quite a few of us. So it'd be great to see you, man. I'd love to catch up with you in real life. It'd be amazing. So I'll annoy you when we get closer. But yeah, it's certainly the fellowship. I mean, that's the only word you can use for it. Is just absolutely incredible with this community. I've never seen anything like it. The passion is incredible. The people are amazing and so helpful. That's the thing that
Yeah.
we forget as well. If there's something that you're struggling with, it's a message away. Like there's no ego, there's no issues. Everyone is happy to talk to everyone. Like it's just the communication is always reasonably open. There's no
Yeah.
reason for anything else. And that's something that's always amazed me since the first moment I picked up the camera and someone realized, like
Mm.
yourself, it's like you even know I exist. That was a huge, huge moment for me. When we first started talking, it was just like,
Oh gosh,
he
yeah.
knows my name. Like those moments are enormous, and I'll always remember those too. We always
I
will.
I still remember the first moment I picked up the camera, and for
Yeah,
me it was the microphone, and I didn't have a camera at first, but I was posting a video. I recorded a little heroic tank guide.
yep,
And it wasn't my first video, but it was one of my first videos where I thought I'm gonna be a YouTuber. And I was recording in the basement of my or the basement of the place I worked where our parking garage was of this
yep,
insurance company in my
yep.
car recording this guide on my break.
It's unreal. It's so good. I've got footage of my first video as well. The first 5 minutes or so, and it is so cringeworthy. It's so
Oh,
bad.
the first few videos are
Oh,
like, wow.
brilliant.
I had somebody told me, I've shared this story before, but I shared one of my videos in a Discord server. It was the old school Make SWGoH Great Again server, if you remember that.
I do.
That
I
server.
do.
I
Yes.
shared that video in there, and the very first comment was, "You're a Cubs fan?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You should stick to being a Cubs fan." I was like, "Oh, ouch."
Brutal, brutal.
Maybe I
Sucks to
should
you,
have.
some people.
All right, another core memory that I want to share, and Heinzie, I know this one will resonate with you. I don't know if you were around or aware of this, but I had a really, really good friend in this game who joined a community of mine, a friend through the game, not in real life, named Mr. Bungle. Have you heard of Mr. Bungle before?
Very vaguely, mate, very vaguely.
Mr. Bungle, there's so many things that I would love to remember and share about this man. He was just the light of the room and
Oh,
the butt of every joke. And he had so many people in this game. If you remember Mr. Bungle, I really want you all to comment on this. But Mr. Bungle unfortunately passed away
oh,
too early several years ago. And the community, it was a really sad thing, but to me, it really also showed the best of this community. I remember we came together and there was a GoFundMe put together. We paid for a significant portion of the funeral. And it was just, I'll never forget what that feeling was like to actually kind of see the game be transcended by what the community means to people.
mm, yeah,
That's another one of
yeah.
my favorite. It sounds weird to say it's one of my favorite memories, but it really is.
No, not at all.
I and also Mr. Bungle, may he rest in peace. I love you, man. That guy was amazing.
Yeah, and one of your favorite memories is non-game related. That to me is fascinating
Yeah.
when you think about it. So, yeah, again, the people are the best part of this game. They have been for a heck of a long time,
Oh, it
brother.
all circles around that. Yeah.
Yep, that's what it all comes down to, and, yeah, it's crazy stuff. It's just again, it's just the more you look, there's just so many thousands and thousands of stories where people have come together. I mean, again, Mini is another example of that, not that long ago.
Minnie's a great
Uh,
example. Same thing.
how the community can rally around really, really important, events or problems or issues or,
Yeah.
even just, you know, guildmates that are struggling a bit, people have been able to reach out and help them through. and never meet them in your life. I mean, there are people that I could walk past the street and never even know, who they are. This game has changed that for so many people.
Have you ever had this experience? This has happened to me several times where I'm out in
Mhm,
public and I see
mhm,
somebody playing their phone, right? I don't know about
mhm,
you also, by the way, side note. Whenever I see somebody
mhm.
playing a phone game, I want to check and see if it's SWGoH. Even still.
I had a guy at work come into work without realizing and just looked at me for about 5 minutes, and I thought, this guy's a bit weird, and he goes, "Are you Heinzie?" It's like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "Oh my god, it's you!" Like, I didn't want to say anything. I thought it was you, but I wasn't quite sure if it was, and I didn't want to say anything in case I sounded like an idiot. But oh my god, it's you! You're amazing. I watch you all the time. It's like, oh, what? It's like,
It's so funny.
it's just insane how those situations happen that you don't ever expect. And again, without this game, it just wouldn't be possible. So yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy next year as far as how things go. But again, Rogue Actions ain't dead. That's the other thing. So I'm gonna take a couple of weeks and take this time, and the search is on. The search is on for a new co-host. There
Ooh,
are a few
can we have
ideas.
a reality TV show? Like
Well,
you can be the Bachelor, and it can be who are you
I'll
gonna
be
give the rose to, Heinzie?
walking around with a rose. Can you remember that? I'll be walking around with a rose Tico. But
Dude,
but
you should formally do that. You should give somebody if they join Rogue Actions, they have to relic 9 their Rose Tico.
but yeah, look, I'm just going to take a little bit of time, and I want to find the right host. I mean, that's it. I mean, I want Rogue Actions to continue. I think it's an institution to the game. As long as the game's on, Rogue Actions should be around. I think that we owe it to the community
I
to
love
keep
that you feel that way. I love that you
segment
feel that
going.
way.
I think the passion's there. I still love the game. Obviously, I'm an in-game player, so I'm invested at the top end, and that's my choice, and that's the way I've played it. I'm not stepping away from it. I'm not backing back. I'm, if anything, probably going to ramp it up even more the way that things are going. So certainly we'll be looking for a new co-host. I haven't got anyone locked in yet. I'd love your opinions. Give us an idea in the comments of some ideas on
Yes.
people that you'd like to be a co-host. That would
Cast
be
your
cool
votes.
because this is for you guys, not
I
for
think
me.
Mobile
It's for
Gamer
you
should be the co-host.
Mobile. That'd be great.
That'll get
Too
him
much,
back.
there's too much hat action, but I'm down for that. I'm down for that. But yeah, again, give us some ideas on people who you want, guys, that are streaming these days, and maybe they'll be a co-host. Who knows? But no, certainly I have every intention of keeping Rogue Actions alive as long as you guys want to watch it.
So, if you haven't clicked off the video yet, little bit of future of this channel and future of content creation for me in general. Obviously, we're already on very very much side gig kind of workflow right now, not super constant anymore. That said, I still do want to continue streaming on Twitch on a very regular basis, and so be sure to head over my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/CubsFanHan. We will still be playing games every once in a while. And I'm not even going to say we won't talk about Galaxy of Heroes ever, because I still love this community. When things happen, I'll probably share my 2 cents. And so be sure to check that out. As far as this channel, what videos can you expect to see here? I'm really not sure yet, to be honest. I wouldn't necessarily plan on me never making videos here again. I'm not quitting YouTube per se. I'm just noticing that to make content, I need to have something that I'm passionate about making content about, and right now, Galaxy Heroes just isn't it. So that's the direction we're going. So it's a little bit open-ended, but you can't expect streams. I know right now we're kind of checking out Marvel Snap. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the game. I know a lot of people are. But there's other games that I'm interested in playing. We'll definitely be doing a playthrough of Jedi Survivor. We'll definitely be doing commentary on Star Wars stuff. And we love karaoke over on my Twitch channel. And so all that stuff's still going to be going on. And you could probably stop in there and find some of your favorite Galaxy Heroes creators from time to time. I don't anticipate that Heinzie and I are going to just not be friends anymore because I left the Galaxy Heroes cult.
Dude, we could still catch up for sure. We can still do stuff. You never know when we could pop up and just randomly do things for sure. Because I'd love the opportunity to do more stuff with our boy Cubs here. Make no mistake.
Yeah. We're going to be looking for opportunities because I just...
Oh, hell yeah. Why not?
We were watching... What were we watching? Oh, yes. We were watching the new Chris Hemsworth show on Disney+. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, which one is it?
It's called Limitless, I think. He's doing like all these crazy physical challenges. Anyway, long story short, he's Australian. And my wife out of nowhere, she's like, Oh yeah. Are you and Heinzie gonna be like? Are you guys still gonna hang out or what?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
was like, yeah, I want to. Like, I just because we can't. I've not played the game, but
Yeah, I'm the Hemsworth you order off Wish. That I'm that version straight up. But yeah, it's crazy. I'm absolutely going to be doing stuff with you in future, mate. Where it's just might not be as regular as it's been, but there's no reason why we can't catch up and hey, talk Star Wars, man. There's always Star Wars stuff happening. That's going to continue. I think that we need more Star Wars games. I think that we're just starved for it. That certainly doesn't help. But
yeah.
there's certainly no reason why we can't hook up and do stuff at some point down the track. Just rogue actions, not regularly. That's all.
All right. Okay, well, we are still doing a video over on Heinzie's channel. I actually, believe it or not, do have a whole thing set up for Heinzie. So we're going to jump over there. Right now, be sure to subscribe to Heinzie's channel. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.
Promise yourself.